Hello everyone and welcome to another game I played on PTCGO, and this is a game using my Darkrai Lasers deck. As you can see, my opponent mulligans a few times at the beginning, showing me psychic energies and some tool scrappers, so I don't really know what kind of deck they are running, but they open up with a lone Sigilyph, and I have a bunch of stuff in my hand, so I'm going to computer search those two dark energies away and get a Sableye put on the bench and a dark patch to it attached to the active, Hypnotoxic, retreat, and then bring up my Sableye to junk hunt the computer search and dark patch. So as you can see, the video is sped up here, and my opponent gets a level ball, puts down Sky Arrow, and gets another Sigilyph. So this sort of lets me know this is probably Quad Sigilyph. Then they end me. So this type of deck is really a problem for this type of deck that I'm using, which is Darkrai Lasers. In spite of that, I still attach to my benched Darkrai. I try to go for Hammer, doesn't work, and I end. I'm going to attach Eviolite to Sableye and another energy to Darkrai. And bench another Sableye and junk hunt for a laser and a hammer, hoping to stall my opponent out. Because I can't really do much damage with lone Sableyes right now. So they're going to Skyla for a catcher, probably try to attack Darkrai, since they might have enough energy if they attach one more. Puts out a plus power, level ball for another Sigilyph. So this is bad for me. But I get another energy on my bench. I try to hammer, don't hit it, and I laser. Now I think I'm going to junk hunt again and try to get dark patch or hammer and laser again. Try to repeat the strategy to try to remove all the energy from my opponent, because that's the only way I see myself winning in a quick and efficient manner. Other than that, I have Reshiram in this deck, which is probably going to be my solo attacker once I get it out. So they Juniper. I don't know what my opponent's looking for. He gets an Eviolite and a plus power, so he's going to be able to do quite a bit of damage to Sableye, but he can't knock it out. He just does 50. So here I hammer. This time I get the heads, and I get rid of that DCE. So this is really going to be bad for my opponent. And I just use a laser to get rid of it, and Juniper. And finally I get Reshiram out. I get a tool scrapper so I can get rid of that Eviolite, and I'm going to be able to computer search for a DCE to put on Reshiram so I can have it ready to attack. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to retreat and put down Reshiram and Outrage for 20, and my opponent will take 10 from poison damage. But this game is still young, as you can see from the video length. So here my opponent's thinking, and he does take a while on some of his turns. He attaches another energy so he can attack once more. Or I think he retreated, but he chooses not to attack, because if he attacks into me, I can of course outrage for more damage. I hit enough hammers combinations to wipe off a DCE and a Psychic from his side of the field, which is really critical. So he's going to Super Rod one of those Psychics back in, but at this point I've gotten rid of 2 of the DCEs, so I think he's getting desperate at this point. So he puts down a Mewtwo, attaches a DCE, and hits me for 70. So now I get a Darkrai, bench it. I guess I'm debating what to do. I can take out one of those Sigilyphs, which is probably the smartest thing to do. Decide to take out the one with the least amount of damage, because that one would be the hardest to take out in the long run using any other Pokemon. So I get to draw a prize. But my opponent can just return the knockout with Mewtwo. But first he's going to play a Scrapper, get rid of my Eviolites. And let's see. So he goes for a Hammer, doesn't get it, or Crushing Hammer, but puts down another Sigilyph, plays another Hammer, gets it this time. And I think he's going to go for a Dark Energy off of my benched Sableye, the one without any damage, and hits my Reshiram for the knockout. And I just promote the damaged Sableye. I get a Keldeo and bench it. At this point, there's not really much to lose by doing that. I get another Dark Energy, just attach it to Darkrai, just, I don't know, to do it. There's no point in doing it. But I guess I can only attack Mewtwo at this point with any of my Pokemon in any effective manner. So I do, I Night Spirit and Laser it. So it's taken 100 damage at this point. So I'll be able to knock it out at the end of this turn. At the end of the next turn, sorry. Just checking my discard pile. And my opponent, I guess, is debating what to take out. I mean, he can take out essentially the Sableye or the active Darkrai. I don't know why he would try for something else. I think he tried a Hammer again. Oh no, he attached an energy to Sigilyph, and he switches to Sigilyph actually. So he retreats Mewtwo, discards another DCE. So this is, I don't know, I guess an attempt to stall, but I guess it works. If I didn't really run hammers in this deck, that'd be a really effective strategy to stall me out. But I'm able to catch up Mewtwo and hit it for the knockout with Darkrai. But now, essentially, I can't attack with anything but the Sableye, which is really slow and painful for this deck to do. I go for the Ultra Ball and get another Reshiram, discard that Mewtwo, I won't be needing it. Attach another Dark Energy to my Darkrai, and this time I guess I'm just going to try to slowly whittle away at the hit points. I play a Laser, retreat, go into Sableye, and Junk Hunt for another Laser and a Hammer. So this slow process will be a back and forth between the two of us of trying to knock the other person out. So he gets rid of my Sableye because he has enough energy for Psychic Knockout, and my Sableye was heavily damaged. But I now have enough energy to attach him with Reshiram. So I'm going to Outrage for 20, knocking out his Sigilyph. So at this point, I've taken 4 prizes, and he's only taken 2. He's going to plus power and N. He ends me to a hand of 2, which is not good for me, but I do have an N, but that can only get me 2 cards, and a catcher. That really doesn't help. He's going to catcher my Darkrai and attach a DCE and knock it out. So at this point we're even on prizes 2 and 2. I get a Super Rod so I can put Reshiram, Sableye, and a Dark Energy back into the deck and continue my strategy of trying to whittle away at the energy and hit points of my opponent. Try for Hammer, fail, but just hit for 20 instead with Outrage. But then my opponent attaches an Eviolite, which of course is going to mean that I don't do any damage. So if my opponent continues that, he can effectively deck me if I'm not able to damage him in any other way. So I just go for the Outrage again, knowing it'll do nothing, because I don't really want to play the N at this point. He goes for a Hammer again, fails it. So I get a Hammer, I get ahead so I can get rid of that DCE, and this time I'm going to go for the N. I don't get anything good, so I'm just going to Outrage for nothing again. I'm sort of seeing, just to confirm, that he no longer has any DCEs in his deck because all 4 of them are in the discard. So at this point I'm going to use Level Ball, fail the search just to be able to get as many cards as possible with Bianca, and put down the Darkrai to Bianca for a full hand of 6 because I do want Reshiram back in my hand. So I'm going to Laser, retreat to Sableye, Junk Hunt for a Tool Scrapper, and I believe the Super Rod, just because I fear decking myself. I have 7 cards and he has 18. So he's going to retreat to Sigilyph, and I'm going to go bench the Reshiram I just got in my last turn, use my Scrapper, and Super Rod 3 energy back into my deck to try to prevent any benching. I'm going to retreat and I guess start attacking with Reshiram Outrage for 20. So at this point, it's pretty much been a stalemate for the past few turns, with both of us at 2 prizes and not being able to really attack for much because we effectively stalled each other. But he goes back and attaches another Eviolite. So at this point, I need to get rid of that Eviolite again, so I'm going to have to Junk Hunt for a Tool Scrapper, and I think I'm going to go for the Super Rod again just to prevent decking myself in the long term. But he ends me, so I no longer have the Scrapper or the Super Rod in my hand. But he doesn't attack. He can't. I get a Dark Patch. I'm just going to Confuse Ray and fail, unfortunately. No confusion means no damage at all. Because he does have the Eviolite on him. He Sharon's for 3, but I don't know if he drew anything useful. So he's going to try stall me. He gets a Catcher, brings up Keldeo, but I can attach Dark Energy, retreat Keldeo, and go back into Reshiram to just attack. I Laser because my attacks won't be doing any damage, so the only way I can get damage on is by Laser, but he does have Sky Arrow, so he can retreat for free and get rid of the poison because he doesn't stay asleep. So that's exactly what he does, and now he has Reshiram effectively doing nothing because I have no way of attacking, but fortunately I do draw into my Tool Scrapper so I can get rid of the other Eviolite and do 20 to the active Sigilyph. So I'm just checking the decks. He has 10, I have 9. So, of course, I'm worried about decking out because this game looks like it'll take a while to complete since we both can't really do anything. And this is sort of what some matches devolve into. This is frequently what my Cobalion matchups devolve to. He's going to Catcher up my Keldeo and attack it for 60 with his bench Sigilyph. Fortunately, I can retreat, because if he's able to knock out that Keldeo, I'm really screwed because I'll lose the game. I can Max Potion and attach another Dark Energy to it. And then I'm able to Outrage again for 20 with Reshiram. So at this point, he ends again, and it's not looking too good for him, because I think as long as he doesn't get rid of my Sableye, I can always Junk Hunt for anything I need and effectively laser him to death. So I'm going to Outrage him again, and he really needs to start attacking something at this point to try to take those two prize cards he needs. If I was him, I would focus on the Sableye, try to get it, but I don't know if he has any catchers left. So he's going to retreat to his other Sigilyph because it has less damage on it, and I Outrage it for 20. Now it has 10 hit points left. I think the other one on this bench also has 10, maybe 30 left. So I'm going to win at this point. It's pretty clear. I think he's going to Skyla. Let's see, what for? I don't think he has enough in his deck to effectively do anything, but he does draw a card. Or, I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure if he did get anything from Skyla. Maybe he's just checking his deck out. It's my turn now, so I think I should attach that Dark Energy to Reshiram just in case, and I do. Outrage. I finally knock out that Sigilyph. I can take a prize, and then my next turn I think I'll be able to take the very last prize. So I hope you guys enjoyed this match. I know it's really long and not all that eventful, but it shows a sort of unique situation that some people can encounter where you just have to stay in the game and you can eventually win it if you play your cards right. So make sure to comment, rate, or subscribe, and I will catch you guys at a later date. And this is, yep, me taking the final prize. So once again,